Did you know there are over 90 private equity backed greens aggregators, platform businesses in the US rolling up mom and pop essential services greens businesses left, right, and center? Hey everyone, I'm Oliver Bogner, managing partner of the Advisory Investment Bank. We're a lower middle market investment bank focused exclusively on all things essential services: HVAC, plumbing, pest, greens, elevator repair, fire safety, accounting. If it's an essential service, we know how to sell it, we know how to package your business the right way, and we know how to get you top dollar and the best deal terms for your business. All we do is essential services. I myself am a 2 times Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, 2 times Inc. 5000 CEO. Last year I was number 48 out of 5,000 CEOs. And today I lead the Advisory Investment Bank. We only do essential services. And I started the Advisory Investment Bank because I had been in your shoes. I have built and sold 5 different companies over the last 15 years to my competition, to private equity backed aggregators. And I really felt like that Main Street business owners were left to the wolves. You guys were getting called by the buyers themselves, getting way below market deals, or business brokers that didn't really understand what was happening with private equity backed consolidation and how to really manage those processes to get the best price for business owners. So that's what we do. We are a white glove Wall Street style investment bank focused on defending Main Street. All we do, Main Street essential service business owners, that's our client. So today I'm going to break down all things greens. If you own a landscaping, turf, greens, irrigation, exterior pest, or grounds maintenance company, this may be truly one of the most important videos you watch this year, because your industry is now one of the most aggressively consolidated sectors out of all private equity-backed platforms. Here's the number that shocks most founders. There are now 90 private equity-backed platforms, consolidators, whatever you want to call them. They're doing buy and build, actively rolling up mom and pop businesses in the greens industry. 90. That means competition for good companies is fierce, valuations are rising, and the window for founder-friendly exits has never been more attractive. So in the next 10 or so minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what every owner needs to know about M&A, private equity roll-ups, valuations, and how to avoid the mistakes that cost founders millions. Let's jump in. Part 1. Why private equity is swarming the greens industry. The green sector, landscaping, turf, fertilization, irrigation, tree care, grounds maintenance, exterior pest, has become one of private equity's top target verticals. Now here's why. Number 1, high recurring revenue. Contracts, maintenance cycles, fertilization rounds, irrigation checks. That is predictable subscription-like cash flow. Buyers absolutely love it. 2, massive fragmentation. Thousands and thousands. We've identified over 90,000 operators. Very few scaled businesses. And fragmented industries are PE's playground. It's how they make money. It's how they add value. It's how they execute buy and build 101. Number 3, non-cyclical essential services, right? So no matter the economy, commercial sites, HOAs, campuses, resorts, golf courses, municipalities, your typical home, you're not letting the weeds go to waste. You're not letting the grounds go to waste. Things are happening, right? There's ongoing grounds care. Number 4, route density, high profitability, right? So if you can stack companies around to reduce drive time, share crews, centralize operations, 1 + 1 = 4. You'll hear this again and again and again. This is prime for value creation. And then number 5, huge ESG tailwinds, water conservation, smart irrigation controls, sustainable turf management, eco-friendly chemical programs, municipal green requirements. So investors really see the long-term runway. And again, there's 90 active PE platforms that we track, that we actively speak to, get to know their mandates, get to know the markets that they're focused on, that are consolidating this space. That's not the future. That is happening right here, right now. The market is probably in, I would say, its 7th inning. So I don't think valuations are going to get much higher. They're only going to go down. If you are a business owner in the greens industry, we should talk, because now is the time to sell the business. Part 2, what these buyers actually value. So we talk to these 90 private equity backed platforms all the time, and I'm going to break down exactly what they need to underwrite your business and get you the very best price. So when evaluating a greens business, buyers are focusing on stability, scalability, and risk reduction. So here's what drives your valuation. Number one, recurring contracts. Multi-year, high retention maintenance contracts are the absolute number one value driver. If you are focused on project-based work, new construction-based work, it needs to be less than 20% of your revenue. I know in greens we really call it enhancements, but we are focused on that being less than 20% of the revenue. Same with snow. Snow is unpredictable. Unless you have fixed rate snow contracts, again, less than 20% of your revenue. Recurring contracts are key. Multi-year, high retention. Whatever service you're doing, whether it's an irrigation check, turf, bird, tree care, as long as it's recurring, it counts. To customer concentration. So if there's one HOA or one commercial account that's over 10 to 15%, that's going to impact the valuation. Number three, service line mix. So if you've already started combining these service lines, great, you're on the right path. Landscaping maintenance, irrigation, turf and fertilization, exterior pest, tree care, snow in the right market, command higher multiples. So really ensuring you're cross-selling those customers, because that's how a buyer is looking at value creation. It's, hey, if you just do turf and fert, can they cross-sell tree care? Can they cross-sell snow? Can they cross-sell irrigation, and vice versa? So if you're a pure play in one of those, great, tons of opportunity. But if you've already started cross-selling, that's exactly what buyers want to see. 4, crew structure and labor model. Strong foreman, low turnover. You've got to ensure everyone's legal. Everyone needs to be I-9 verified. Totally fine if you're doing, seasonal labor coming in. Just make sure it's compliant. 5, management depth. If you, the owner, are still the GM and the branch manager and the operations head and the sales leader, valuation drops. You have to have a second layer of leadership. Who's that branch manager? Who runs your crews? Who's leading sales? Is that a repeatable process? How are your Google reviews? How is that entire wheel spinning? So that management depth is really, really important. And then number 6, fleet condition. So if you've got poor fleet maintenance, it means immediate capex for the buyer and a haircut to the price. Again, buyers don't just want revenue. They want predictability, documented systems, and transferability. So part 3, current multiples we're seeing in the green sector. So founders, hopefully you appreciate the clarity here. Here is the true market value that we're seeing. So if you are under 500K EBITDA, very, very tough to transact. Under 500K EBITDA, adjusted EBITDA, we're seeing valuations 3-4x. The magic is really 500 to $1 million is when we could absolutely transact. Those businesses are going for, I would say, around 5, 6, maybe 7x if you're close to $1 million, but that's where they're trading. Now, the sweet spot is when you're between 1 to 2 million EBITDA. 1 to 2 million EBITDA, again, low project-based exposure. You are trading somewhere 6, 7, 8 is where we're seeing them trade. So strong multiple. Now, when you get to 1 to 2, 2 to 10, 2 to 5, that's where we're really seeing the double-digit multiples. So if you're a $2 million EBITDA business, you're trading for 10x easily. 10x and beyond depends on how much competitive tension we can really get and make it a bidding war. So what owners don't realize, 90 buyers in the market, running a true competitive process will increase your valuation 20 to 40%. If a buyer calls you directly, that's giving up all the leverage. You have to run a process. There are 90 buyers. They all want to compete. The way you get the best price, the highest multiple, the reason that these multiples are going up is because of competition. They're competing with one another. Multiples are not fixed. Buyers are not going to offer you a true fair market price. Multiples are created through process, competition, and proper positioning. It's why we exist. Not continuing to push our services here, but reach out. We'll give you a free consultation on what we believe your business is worth and what we could get it to trade for and who we think the handful of buyers are that would bid on it. So part 4, how private equity roll-ups work, the honest version. Now, again, I do not work buy side, so we do not represent the private equity firms. We exclusively work sell side and represent essential service owners and operators. But I'm going to break down exactly how this works behind the scenes. And this is from someone who negotiates these deals every single day. So phase one, a platform is created. P Group acquires a large, well-run company, often at least 5 million of EBITDA, and that really becomes the hub. Phase two, add-ons begin. Dozens of smaller firms are required to expand the service line's regional density. And because there's 90 platforms, competition for these add-ons is intense, which is really good for sellers. This is how the value creation opportunity comes, right? For the private equity buyers, they really have this belief 1 + 1 = 4. They might be buying an initial platform. If you're a 5, 6, 7, $10 million EBITDA greens business, they might acquire you for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14x, right? The valuations are crazy. But then they're buying the smaller businesses, the 500K EBITDA ones, the $1 million EBITDA ones. They're buying those for a much lower multiple. So on paper, they already made money day one. Phase three, integration, right? So depending on the buyer, this includes centralizing the back office, shared call center, unified routing, fleet standardization, cross-training, upselling the service lines, getting everyone on to, most of the platforms are on Aspire, but getting you onto one centralized CRM platform. Some platforms integrate very aggressively, others stay decentralized, totally depends on the buyer. Then phase four, secondary sale, right? So over that 3 to 6 years, the entire platform sells again. So these private equity firms are not holding on to these platforms for 10, 15, 20 years. They're holding on to them for between 3 to 6 years. So roll-ups are not perfect, but they can create enormous wealth when structured properly. And if you have equity in the overall platform, you're going to get really, really rewarded when that next sale comes. Part 5, how owners actually get paid. So a $10 million purchase is not a $10 million wire. Most deals include cash at close, which is the instant liquidity. That's 60 to 80% of the deal. Sometimes there's a seller note. Rarely with strategics are there seller notes, but sometimes there is. Earn out based on performance. We've got to structure that carefully. And then the rollover equity component. So this is your ownership in the platform's future value. And this is where founders often do very, very well and typically better than their first go around. And then there's an employment or consulting agreement, 1 to 3 years, depending on the goals. So the structure often matters more than the valuation. And this is where we really see a lot of value being added. Not only are we getting, between 20, 30, 40, we've even been able to get clients 300% better than the initial offer that they received from a buyer that reached out to them directly, but really structuring the arrangement. These are complicated deals. There's lots of elements to them. How are we structuring them to ensure you get the best deal, the most money, not only now, but in the future? Part 6. So the biggest mistake we see owners make, and after advising owners across landscaping, turf, irrigation, grounds maintenance, this is really what I see are the top mistakes that sellers make. So selling directly to the first buyer, you lose literally all negotiating leverage. If you engage with a buyer directly, you are going to get hosed. Not preparing. 12 to 24 months before selling. Preparation can increase the valuation dramatically. Get the books clean. Ensure that everything's buttoned up. All the I's and T's are dotted. Making sure the financials will pass Q of E. If you're running a lot of personal expenses to the business, start to migrate those away. Next one, allowing customer concentration. If you have a single high value client that becomes 15, 20% of the business, that's a problem. Neglecting fleet, right? Deferred CapEx reduces the offer. You've got to continue to run the business as you would business as usual. Staying too central to the operations. Again, we've seen this again and again and again. There's an owner that does everything. Buyers want to see systems and teams, not complete owner dependence. And then again, I would say ignoring what's happening in the landscape. There are 90 platforms. Choosing the right buyer is everything. Our job is to bring you one of those 90 buyers that's the perfect fit for you. Typically, our processes, you're going to meet 10 to 15 of them, and you're going to quickly pick who you like the best. What structure do you like the best? Whose strategy do you like the best? Who could you actually envision yourself partnering with? So it's a dance, right? It's not, this is the perfect match. We really want our clients to meet the market, see who's interested in them, see where there could be synergy, see where that perfect fit is, and then we make the match and try to cut a deal. Part 7, what should you do right now? So if you're even thinking about selling in the next few years, here's my very direct advice. Number 1, strengthen those recurring maintenance contracts. This is your economic engine. 2, build service line density. multiple service lines, landscaping, irrigation, turf, tree care. All those combined, all that cross-selling equals a better price. Number 3, really develop your middle level management. Strong GM, ops manager really immediately increases value. Number 4, clean up your financials. Buyers pay for clarity. Clean up your financials. I repeat, please clean up your financials. 5, understand your valuation early. So planning creates value, rushing it destroys it. And then number 6, really understanding not all 90 platforms are the same. Culture, integration style matter. So again, I'm Oliver Bogner, managing partner of the Advisory Investment Bank. Greens industry is truly experiencing a once-in-a-generation consolidation wave. If you want confidential valuation, we'll run you through who we think your buyers are, clarity on what we genuinely think you should do, whether sell now, sell in 12 months, sell in 24 months. We're here to be a resource. So reach out if you need anything at all. You want to talk about the industry, you want to talk about your market. We are here to give you advice. We're here to handhold you through the process. Thanks again for watching.